And welcome everybody to another edition of the Cripple Connection podcast. My name is Cody Lashley, joined as always by my partner in crime, Jeffrey React. What's up, bro?
Hey man, how you doing?
So, we're doing an episode today. We want to give kind of a disclaimer that this podcast is probably going to go through a few different evolutions in the coming weeks as we figure out what we want to continue to talk about and how we want to provide content to anyone listening or watching. But if you do like what we do, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And Jeffrey, let's go ahead and get into some news. We've taken a week off, and now we're back, and we're going to talk about some PlayStation 5 interface. Before we play the video, were you impressed initially by what you saw? And then I'll pull it up.
Definitely. I think they've made some improvements in the right direction. Nobody's going to argue the fact that the PlayStation 4's interface is very basic. So it's good that they're taking a more active approach here, and it's a step in the right direction.
So I'll have to check the levels, but I think this should be a good volume for us to talk, but also listen and see what's new with the PlayStation 5.
We are finally going to give a look at the PlayStation 5 user experience. We will see some of the features that enable games to work together with the hardware.
Can you hear it
good?
Might need to go a little louder.
Our vision for a PS5 user experience is simple. We believe that your playtime is valuable and should be meaningful. PlayStation team members from all around the world work to deliver a PS5 experience.
So initially, I do. Let me turn just a little bit lower.
Connecting you with a great play.
I do kind of like what they do initially, and again, this video goes through a lot, and we can kind of move forward and back. But you know, one of the reasons why I have always loved PlayStation consoles is I feel like they get the interface correct. You know, on the PlayStation 4 as it is right now, you can see all the different games you have, and you can, you know, you're able to move along them easy. It's really quick. You're able to get to the apps, and a lot of it works well. I think the quick menus are well. I know this might be a weird quirk, but I personally really hope they fix the browser. As somebody who does frequent the browser on the PlayStation from time to time to check Twitter or Facebook or whatever, it's terrible. So I hope whatever iteration of the browser is on the PlayStation 5 is going to be better than what it was. But let's kind of listen to him.
Me to get up to date on recent stories posted by publishers for games I am following.
And I can pause it too,
Another
Jeffrey,
card
if you
here
want to
shows
make
me
a point
recent
after you
media
do
I've captured from my gameplay using the Create button on the DualSense controller. Let's check out one of the most powerful new features of the PS5 console. They're actually just to the right in this row, and we call them activities. Activities are part of the plan to remove barriers to gameplay. Let's get an example of one way they're used in Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
I thought this was
With
interesting.
With the tap of the PlayStation button, I'm back
especially
to playing the game. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is packed with things to discover, and each level represents one type of activity I can play, many of which I can go back to later to discover more.
Actually, this is
I tap the PlayStation button to bring up the control center.
It's like
again.
the achievements.
I can see a number of available activities,
will help you in
both active
game.
and
It
suggested
tells
by
you
the
where to
system.
go, what to
Let's
do.
take this first one, A Big Adventure, as an example. I can see that I haven't quite completed this level yet. I'm at 33%. Let's open it up and see more. Here I can see more information, including key objectives I haven't met. And I'm seeing a very important piece of information here. It says about 10 minutes left. This is PlayStation 5.
That's kind of cool that they give you like a ETA.
How long?
Yeah, they're trying to gauge like how long it'll take, and apparently it changes based on who you are too. So if the game knows you suck, it might say,
it's gonna adjust for that.
This could take you to 20 to 25 minutes. Yeah. But
That's
I mean
really cool,
that's kind of cool, and it's a testament to how smart the console is. But
right,
I like that. Right now, not really a big deal because it's basically you can get stuff like that. In,
some activities even let you jump directly
game,
to
but
that
now
place
it's
in
part
the
of
game.
the interface, which is cool.
Well, it's cool because you can jump in between
But there's
where
more to
exactly
see
you
here.
want to go.
For another example,
Right.
let's open that activity back up. it looks like I missed an objective to find the monk robe's costume piece. Looks like I need a little help. Some in-game activities, like this one, offer official game help. Game help is included as a benefit for active PlayStation Plus members in some PS5 games. In this case, I can open up that objective to get some hints without resorting to a web search or digging through long...
Now that is just perfect. Like
That's awesome.
That's literally everything that I've ever wanted in a video game. So like, I don't know about you, but personally, like when I grew up playing Final Fantasies, I was a completionist. So I would buy the strategy guides that and that would tell you like where all the secret items are. And you know, like that's just I loved it. To me, like owning those books was a part of the process. But now I find like, you know, if ever you get stuck on something, you're just essentially browsing YouTube trying to find a way to
exactly.
But, now you can
that might contain spoilers.
Search for little tips and tricks on what to do.
And I can play it.
Right.
And now part of me says it's a good thing and a bad thing because it's also like it removes some of the difficulty. Because if you can't figure out a level, fuck it, I'll just look up the little video that tells me what to do.
Right. But if you do that anyway, then it's like...
and I think that mainly this is more meant for those people that don't want to do that. Like they do want to be able to play the game by themselves and figure it out for themselves. But on those levels where you just keep dying and fucking up, it's like, okay, let me at least see how it's done. So I can do it myself.
Yeah, exactly. And it does prevent spoilers. So, like, you don't have to worry about, like, going too far into a video and seeing something you didn't need to see or whatever. It's concentrated only on that one task. The one bad side I have a issue with it, though. It says it's only some games. So I imagine only the official first-party PlayStation games are probably going to take advantage of this feature. Right. So that means, for the majority of these games, that option's probably not even going to be available. I mean, it depends on the developer, but it did only say some PlayStation games. So, that is something to keep in mind. It's not something you're going to be able to use for every single game that you own, most likely. So,
and there's one more little tidbit that you say here, something about developers and spoilers. I want to hear it one more time. Let's go back right here.
PlayStation Plus members in some PS5 games. In this case, I can open up that objective to get some hints without resorting to a web search or digging through long videos or articles that might contain spoilers.
Yeah.
This particular hint is a video,
okay, so it's a way
and I can play it here in the card,
spoilers.
and I can expand it to get a bigger view without leaving the game. Sometimes it's really useful to be able to see the hint on screen while you play. Some cards can be put in a picture.
You can even just have it up to kind of guide you as you're doing it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
and if you pin a card, you can access it via the control center at any time. Now let's go find...
And again, another thing I do want to pinpoint, I mean, this is the Cripple Connection podcast. For as much as people might be tempted to think, well, this is just a way to make everything easy. This is just another step in video games becoming so easy with so many tutorials and everything's handheld. They hold your hand throughout the whole process. But also, I feel like for people with varying levels of disabilities, this is also good.
Yes,
because it's just like, it kind of helps you to kind of see, maybe how things are done. And I'm not in any way developmentally impaired, although I've been called a retard a time or two in my life.
I think we all have, unfortunately. But
for those who may have any kind of impairments or just any injuries or whatever, doing things either physically or mentally sometimes can be a little bit more taxing for different people. And I think it goes unsaid that things like this do help people from varying ranges of disabilities. So I think it's a great thing.
And I mean, it is also worth noting that this is Sackboy. This is Little Big Planet. So
it's not like we're playing Bloodborne here.
Right. I mean, so just keep that in perspective when you think about things like this. Yeah. But I totally agree with you.
Rascally monk robes.
And I hate collectibles in games, and I'm
Thanks,
glad
Game
this is a
Help.
thing. You know, that way
By
I
the
just
way,
know
I
where they
do
are.
love, I
The
do
team at
love Little
PlayStation
Big
wanted to make
Planet.
it really easy to chat with your
Like
friends.
I
on the
remember playing
PlayStation
through the
5
first
console.
one
So
and the
let's check
second
out
one,
how
which
it
is so
works.
fun.
I've never
Here
played
once
any
you
of
add-
them.
opening an interactive notification.
Once you actually get people that are willing to help you customize and do their own thing, and and once you were able to explore all the levels, it was really cool.
Huh.
With a tap of the PlayStation button, and I've decided to join the voice chat that my friend just entered. Now, my friend could have done this on the PlayStation app for mobile devices, from a PS4, or in this case, from a PS5. The DualSense controller features an integrated microphone too, so I could start talking right away. But I always
That's
have the
cool.
ability to hit the mute button on the controller or in the menus.
Nice.
Parties take on an expanded role with PS5. And
This is what I thought was awesome. And for people who share screens a lot, like me and my friends, to me, this is one of the coolest things. And it's part of the reason why I put in our description the upgrades to PSN. Because so much of this video, too, is also how the PlayStation 5 is going to interact with PSN and interface with PSN. And they go on to say later that instead of it being a standalone app, it's much more integrated into the console. So, but I love some of the features, and I'll let you guys, we'll
they
react
now
to them
provide
as we watch
persistent
them.
spaces to connect with.
But I
groups
was
that you
really
play
excited
with.
about this.
Here I have a couple of friends chatting away in the party. One of them has started sharing their screen with the group. Looks like they're playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. We can chat while we play, and I can watch his progress as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so you could literally be playing your game, and if you're at a cool part in your game
This
that
is
you tried
another
to
card
beat,
that
I
can be
could
put in
watch
picture-in-picture
you.
picture mode.
And
or
you can
into
move
the
it
side
around
while you play.
wherever. That's
Dude,
just so
that is
Anytime
so
via
awesome.
the control center too, but let's dismiss it for now.
That's neat.
Okay, let's review. So far, we've seen how activities on PS5 will make it easier and faster to hop back into PS5 games, and how you can get in-game help and chat with your friends. So that leaves online multiplayer gaming. Let's check it out. I see that some of my friends are online, so it's time to say goodbye to Sackboy for now and spin up a match of Destruction All-Stars. One of my friends in the party has already started a match, and we can join them from this card in Control Center. And there we go. Destruction All-Stars now quickly starts thanks to PS5's ultra-high-speed SSD.
No, it's really fast between two different games.
Okay, I think we've got enough
Yeah,
people
that's
on our
nice.
party, so let's jump in. We're keeping the focus on
Again,
PS5's
we'll have to
user
see how well it
experience
works
today, so
once you
let's
actually
zip
get
ahead
the
Right.
so you can see more.
Exactly.
And just like that, we're in. We don't have time to play a full match today, but I do think we have time to take a quick photo. To do that, I'll just tap the Create button on the DualSense controller. PS5 is always capturing recent gameplay, but when you compose a shot, even using in-game photo mode, you can capture a high-quality screenshot here. This optimizes capturing the moment, letting you review and choose to share later on. I should mention, screenshots and video can be captured at up to 4K on the PS5 console.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so far we've shown off how to jump into activities, how to chat with your friends, get into groups together to play, capturing gameplay, all of that while in-game. But what if I want to play a different game? Welcome to the PlayStation 5 home screen. This is where you'll land when you start up from a powered off state, and where you'll go when you want to choose a new game to play or download. The layout of the space is designed to present games and
Love
game
the way it
content
looks, too. I think
beautifully on a
it's
4K display,
much
Yeah.
less
simple and super
intrusive
fast
than the
access
last
to what
PlayStation
you
4
need.
interface.
And in case you're wondering, media-related apps will have their own space like this one, but today we're
Oh,
focused on
that's
gaming.
cool.
Each game has its own hub completely integrated, so all you need to do is scroll down to see activities you can jump right into. Video clips, stories about the game, DLC, and more. Backward-compatible PS4 titles will benefit from some of these features too. Let's move one spot to the
Man,
left
that
and
control
check out
looks so
Explore, which brings
It
together
does.
all
I
your
love it.
games.
I love it.
We saw a view of this from the Control Center earlier, and another view will also be in the new PlayStation app for mobile devices. Explore keeps you in the loop with official stories from PlayStation and from all the games you're following, including trending media from the community. We'll be testing and learning about this feature in the US at launch, so not everyone will have this on day one, but it gives you a good idea of the direction. And this is PlayStation Store for PS5. It's completely integrated into the system. It's not a standalone app anymore.
Oh, thank
Browsing
God.
for new games
Nice.
to play will
Yeah,
be
that's what I was
easier
talking
thanks to
about.
the speed of PS5 and a more personalized store experience.
Jesus.
And here, you'll be able to browse the latest games and deals. You'll find PS5 games and many backward-compatible PS4 games, too. I'm sad to say, but we are almost out of time. So let's pull up Control Center one more time with a tap of the PlayStation button. On our way out, why don't we quickly share that photo we took in Destruction All-Stars? We can find recently captured media in this handy card in Control Center. From here, we can do some quick edits, but I think I'm ready to share it right now. On PlayStation 5, I have the option to share videos and images to supported external services, or I can send them directly to one of my
Nice.
parties. Remember,
Oh, cool.
parties are bigger than just voice chat now, so I'll select one of my favorite parties here. Let's attach a quick message here. The DualSense controller makes this
This is a godsend to me. As a disabled man, I love what you're about to see because I use it all the time in everything else but my video game consoles.
really easy. PlayStation 5 supports voice dictation in a number of languages,
What?
so you
I
no
didn't
longer
know that.
have to type messages with the keyboard if you don't want to. Simply
Oh,
select the
thank
microphone
Christ.
button. Here's a cool detail. If my friend hasn't yet played the activity where I captured this media, and the game's developer thinks that activity might contain spoilers, they'll receive a warning before they view it. Well,
Now that confuses the fuck out of me though. And that is what I wanted to ask you, Jeffrey. This is basically over. So I'll shut this off.
Right.
But what do you think that last part meant? Like, they were saying, like, okay, if I send you something, and they say if the developer feels like the thing that I sent you, like, is going to be a spoiler and you haven't got there yet, then it'll censor it. But my question is, like, how are they going to know? Like, are they... That is kind of weird to me. Tell me what you think that means.
I mean, obviously, based on the photo you take, they're going to be able to tell where you are in the game. So if they think it's... And they're not going to censor the photo. They're going to give the person a warning prior to them opening it. So it's not really censoring the photo. It's just giving them a warning so that, in case you have captured something that's story-related beyond what they've gotten to,
But I'm saying, like, are developers, like, looking in real time? Or
obviously,
do they have some kind of UI? Or, like...
Yeah, I mean, obviously they must be tracking your progress
or AI,
somehow.
rather. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems that way, which is kind of scary when you think about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost some Orwellian shit. Like, with the way it first hits your ears, it's kind of like, oh, wait, so they're just going to be, like, is it an actual person doing it, or is it
No,
like an AI,
it's automated. It has
like,
to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, then no one's going to be monitoring that shit. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
No.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
No.
But, yeah, I do think, look, I think PlayStation 5, I'm already excited for it. I'm ready to get my hands on the console. I think it's going to be fun. I think the user interface really shows itself to be a very user-friendly, streamlined experience. I mean, it looks great.
Yeah, and like you said, whenever I send a PlayStation message now, I use the app on my phone because my phone has speech recognition on it, right? So I can send it faster. Now I don't have to do that. I can use the console with the speech recognition. I mean, we've yet to see how accurate it is. That's always something that, that comes with the territory.
For sure.
But it can't be any worse than Apple's voice recognition, which is what I'm using on my phone. So,
Which is terrible.
I'm used to terrible voice recognition, but like you said, I use that for basically everything in my life, and it's nice to have that integration. So
I use it when I'm writing pretty much anything. It's just it's a great tool. I recommend it for people who do a lot of writing work, disabled or not. But especially if you're disabled and you have a good use of your voice, there's no reason to not use text to speech now. Now,
Definitely.
is Big Brother listening to all your conversations? Yes. But what are you going to do about it, dude? Everybody's listening to your conversations.
Well, I mean, that comes with the territory, though, because there was an update to the PS4 recently, the 8.0 or whatever.
Right.
And, it gives you the warning now when you're in a party that says, PlayStation may, use your recordings of your party. Mostly I think it's either to get rid of, cheaters or people who are being bullied online or whatever, but we're already headed in a direction where everything's going to be monitored. So
yeah, we already live in the police state. We might as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of police state, let's talk politics.
Yay.
No, not really.
Yeah, not really.
Kind of, but sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe, but also no. But at the same time, yes, but also fucking whatever, dude. We have a news story that I felt was relevant on a few different fronts. Alexandria OcasioCortez streamed Among Us on Twitch, and almost 400,000 people. Actually, a little bit more. When I tuned in, there was a little above 4. She went live on Twitch and had a ton of people come and watch her in like a get out to vote movement, and this was kind of in line with a few other stories, like the Joe Biden campaign literally set up a thing in Animal Crossing. Like politics, this is the thing. Whenever you talk politics, everyone tells you to stick to whatever else you're normally talking about, whether it be sports or whatever. But politics forces its way into every conversation, so it's like, but really, the reason I wanted to highlight this is for two different reasons. One, again, whether you love her or hate her, what she believes in and the things that she fights for, you cannot deny the political star power and the power to pull people together. Like AOC does, and she's able to do something like this and make it one of the biggest streams ever in the history of Twitch. I mean, it peaked at 439,000 viewers, meaning it ranks within the top 20 biggest streams of all time for concurrent viewers. But it also highlights something that you learned here in the article too. The U.S. Army had been using Twitch as a recruitment tool. People are starting to learn that people are playing video games and they're playing shooters and they're doing things like this. Mm-hmm. And I do think on her part, it is a good idea. I mean, that's how you reach people. The next wave of voters and the next, I mean, this is what it is. Politicians are going to have to figure out a way to be able to speak to a populace that's now much more integrated with its technology, and that includes video games. So I do think kudos to her for understanding this and realizing that there is power long term in having an online presence and not being seen as, one of these stiff old fogies in politics who doesn't give a shit. I mean, she actually and actively reaches out to her constituency and her demographics, which is perfect by this. And it really, another thing, and I know I'm getting very long-winded here, but it speaks to the power of Among Us, which is a very popular video game that seemingly everyone's playing right now. Jeffrey, I'll kind of let you get some words in.
I think this is, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with her political view, but, it is a great idea. I mean, we are in a generation of people who are, constantly hooked to their computers or consoles in some form or fashion. And, like you said, Among Us is a huge thing right now. Not to mention, I think Among Us, if taken in that context, like, if she's playing this game, it can be seen as a political statement, right? So the way Among Us is played is it's basically John Carpenter's The Thing. If you've ever seen John Carpenter's The Thing, it's about an imposter among a group of I think they're in space, and slowly killing off these people, and yeah, it's a whole thing, which you're going to learn about a little bit more about as the week goes on. But you know, anyway, just to drop us a little bit. But anyway, I think it's it could be seen as a political statement, right? Like you have people in power right now who are, slowly, not literally killing off, but killing off, your ideals and your concepts of, what's going on in the world today, or people are, spreading lies and shit, right? So Among Us, I think, plays to that factor as well. So I think it's an allegory, for what's going on in the world today, and I think it's a good move, both politically and from a social sense. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought. I just read a headline on this article that made me click it just so that way I can read it later. Whatever. If you're watching the video, you can read it and see what it said, dude. That's kind of crazy. I'm very interested to see what that had to say, but that is not for this show. Yeah, listen, Among Us is actually a really fun video game that a lot of people are playing. It's really simple. And Jeffrey and I are going to try and cook up a session where we can all play Among Us and have some friends in it and kind of goof around and just be idiots for a little while. But
definitely.
Yeah, man, that does it for another episode of the Cripple Connection podcast. Jeffrey, why don't you go ahead and tell them where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm at JeffroRed, so at JEFFRORED.
All right. And my name is Cody Lashney. Once again, you can find me on Twitter at CodyLac, CodyLac. I'm on the C3 Carolina Cat Chronicles podcast. Sunday, 30 minutes after every Panthers game, and every Tuesday night at 9 on YouTube. Again, if you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you share it with somebody. And until next time, peace and love.
Peace, guys.